Hey everybody, Eric here from EFBM Reboot, and here's your Thursday edition. And actually, it's Try It Out Thursday. And what Try It Out Thursday is, it's a day where, you know what, I'm going to recommend you try something new. And in this case, it's something that I actually used to do, and I'm probably going to be doing tomorrow. But here's what it is. It is a non-traditional, high-intensity workout designed for the elliptical. It's going to incorporate a bodyweight movement of your choice. It's going to incorporate sprint intervals and the elliptical, which done right can add some great resistance. So here's what brought it about. And talking with a friend of mine who is in a bit of a difficult situation. What she has is she's got a fairly interesting mix, of things going on. For her, you know, and I'm not going to get into her story because it's hers to tell, not mine. But she is in a bit of a what to do kind of scenario, where it seems like everything is against her. And if it's not one thing, it's another. So now that I've completely confused you, but in my talking with her today, well, messaging back and forth, I remembered this workout, and it's a great one. Every time I did it, I felt exhausted afterwards, but smiling that I didn't die. I felt great. I just felt alive, but completely thankful that I could walk away and was done with it. So here's what it is, the big reveal. So you can get on the treadmill, and you're going to start with a 5-minute warm-up. And I typically would do this kind of a slow at first, 3.5-4 miles an hour with a resistance of 5 or 8, or between 5 and 8. And then towards about the 2.5 minute mark, I would bump it up to around 5 miles per hour, which on an elliptical is fairly easy to do. And again, keeping the resistance, between 5 and 8. But then at that 5-minute mark, boom, we hit it. Full out sprint, as hard as you can go for 30 seconds. Resistance needs to be at this point between 13 and 15, depending on where you are physically and your ability to do it. And so for me, I did at first, I started off between 12 and 13 and moved up to 13. And then as time progressed, I moved into the 15s, 14 and 15 range. So, but you sprint all out for 30 seconds, then 2 minutes of about 6.5, let's just say between 6 and 7, depending on your physical activity level. Between 6 and 7 miles per hour, resistance of 13. So you're going to maintain the same resistance, just a slower pace for up to 2 minutes. Then you're going to hop off just long enough to do either 30-second plank or 15 body weight squats or 30 in and outs, which you sit on your bum, you're kind of upright, and you're going to do your legs in and out like this. And it's a core movement. You can have your hands in the air, you can have your hands on the floor, whatever works for you to be able to crank out 15 of them. Between 10 and 15. And so, see, there's room to adjust, because this is a killer move. And so, but you're going to do that up to 10 rounds or 40 minutes, whichever comes first. And it should equal out about the same. It should equal out to about 4 rounds. 10 rounds total. Depending on if you take the full 2 minutes or not. So But 10 rounds or 40 minutes, whichever comes first, and then a good 5-minute cool down. Now here's the thing. I very rarely use the handles, the back and forth handles, because the calorie count on the machine is so inaccurate that I don't trust it. When I would hold it and it would measure my heart rate, it would tell me I would get between 1,200 and 1,300 calories burned because of how fast and the resistance level and things like that. Once I got a heart rate strap for my activity tracker, which is just, it reads Bowflex, but it's made by Polar. Bipolar, sorry. It's produced by the company Polar, who were the same makers of the heart rate tracking equipment built into the elliptical trainer. And so what that gave, but that was a more accurate count because it was based on my metrics, and it was based on my heart rate and the information I plugged into the watch. And that would usually average around 1,000 calories. Some days it'd be 970s, some days closer to 1,100. Because you're moving around so much, sometimes you can lose connectivity with the heart rate monitor against your body. At least for me, because I got some fat rolls, so they would roll around. So give that a try. Now look, if cardio isn't your thing, if you're just starting out, let's dial this back. Your sprints, 8 to 9 miles, between 8 and 10 miles an hour. Don't try for 13, 14, 15 miles an hour. There were times where I was seeing heart rate when I was coming out of the sprint into the 2-minute cycle. There were times where my heart rate was coming down from 210 beats per minute. So let's not push our hearts that much if you're not ready for it. It's bursts. It's not prolonged. Now, the last time I did it, I did it as a regular routine, I was doing a minute, I think up to a minute and a half tops of the sprint on the elliptical, and I was still doing a 2-minute cool down. So, it's a pretty intense workout. It's a fantastic cardio. But like I said, it's a non-traditional high-intensity interval training workout because it is a long period, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So 5-minute warm-up, 40-minute routine, 5-minute cool down. So it's 50 minutes. There's a lot of movement though. There are intervals: sprint, jog, body weight, sprint, jog, body weight, sprint, jog, body weight, 10 times. And I loved it. Like I said, shaky legged, just ready to, there were times where when I was done, I still had to sit down, kind of kick my legs out a little bit to get the blood, make sure blood was still flowing as it should. And, but man, what a great workout. So give that a try. It's something different. It's something you probably haven't done because you'll be that crazy person trying to destroy the elliptical machine, but give it a try. It's something I really enjoyed, and doing it doing it at least weekly. Look, I promise you that was a huge contributor to how fast I saw results in early on. But also, today's kind of a special day. I didn't realize it, and I should have, but if I'm looking at my stuff correctly, today marks the 2-year anniversary since I started posting my fitness motivations on the interwebs. January 7th, 2014, I remember rolling out of bed, grabbing my phone, and typing Eric's Fat Boy Motivation for the day, : it's easier to not eat 300 calories than it is to work it off. And that still holds true. That's something I've talked about over the years, these past 2 years, that refraining from 300 calories is easier than having to work it off. And the premise behind that is that, ooh, lady, you almost hit me. Ooh, you should pay attention. But the premise behind that is, think about all the things you eat in your day. If you had to get, because the the way you lose weight is by having a calorie deficit. That's the way you lose fat, is a caloric deficit. If you're trying to eat, if you're trying to balance eating and working out to a caloric zero or a negative, then you're going to eat, you're going to make sure what you're putting in your body is what you need, not just what you want. Because what you want is going to go by the wayside if you're really, really serious about your goals. So I'm not advocating anorexia. I'm not advocating eating disorders. I'm advocating smart caloric consumption. Smart calorie consumption. Look, even if it's a diet soda, cut it out, because it will lead to other things. It will. I mean, how many times have you had a good healthy meal and had a diet soda with it? And I don't mean a salad from McDonald's. I don't mean, the steamed veggie plate that's loaded in butter and salt. I don't mean any of that. What I mean is a good healthy meal. You know what I'm talking about. A good lean protein, good steamed vegetables with very minimal seasoning, no butter, maybe a side salad with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette or an oil-based dressing, water. You know what a good healthy meal looks like. So you're not gonna throw a Diet Coke with that. You're gonna have a Big Mac and a Biggie Fry and a Diet Coke. That's where the diet soda comes into play. Oh, I'm eating all this garbage, let me have a diet soda. No, you're just washing it down with more garbage. So do yourself a favor, make sure that what you're putting in here for all of this is worth it. Make sure that what you're taking in has a purpose. Food is meant to sustain us. Having a meal is meant to build friendship and intimacy. No one wants to see you eat a Twinkie. No one wants to see you scarf down a plate of nachos by yourself. If you don't have nachos every now and then, have nachos every now and then. Enjoy them with people. Don't eat the whole Nacho Bel Grande on your own. Just saying. So, enough ranting, enough raving. Happy 2 years. Happy 2-year anniversary, EFBM. And here's to at least two more. And I want to say thank you, a hearty, heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you who have been a part of this journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is your words of encouragement. It is your dedication to watching the videos and reading the posts. It is your dedication that keeps me going. Because there are days where I just don't want to do it. And there are days that I don't do it. But I keep coming back. Not for me, but because there are people out there who benefit from hearing that they're not alone. Because guess what? You're not alone. I don't want to work out every day. I don't want to eat right every day. But I don't have dreams. I have goals that I'm working towards. So you guys, with that, it's getting dark. I'm going to get off this thing. I'm going to focus on my driving. You're welcome, Christina. And remember, we're just ordinary people trying to live extraordinary lives. We'll see you guys next time. Happy 2 years, everybody. Bye-bye.